Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news now, guys. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the 49ers have just started their season on a very promising note. After that impressive Week 1 victory over the Seattle Seahawks, there's a lot of positive energy around the team, but also some concerns that could impact their championship aspirations. We're talking about injuries, specifically to key pass catchers, and the potential return of a familiar face, Kendrick Bourne, who might just be the missing piece in their passing game right now. You see, the 49ers are always strategic, always looking for ways to improve and adapt, especially when it comes to their roster and how they can maximize Brock Purdy's potential under center. And right now, the team is exploring every avenue, including bringing back Kendrick Bourne, a player who's proven himself in San Francisco before and who could come back to help stabilize and boost their passing attack. So, what's the latest? Well, reports are indicating that the 49ers are actively working to sign Bourne this week. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. After their Week 1 win, the team is now looking at some concerning injury updates, particularly for tight end George Kittle and wide receiver John Jennings, both of whom are heading into MRIs to determine the severity of their injuries. Now, we all know how vital Kittle is to the 49ers offense. He's not just a great blocker, but also a reliable target in the passing game. If Kittle or Jennings are sidelined for any extended period, the team's passing game could take a big hit. That's where Bourne comes into play. He's a versatile receiver, someone with experience and chemistry with the team, and someone who can step right into the lineup if needed. It's interesting to note that Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the 49ers, has been tight-lipped about the situation, which is pretty typical in these circumstances. But the silence itself hints that the team might be working on something significant behind the scenes, and bringing back Kendrick Bourne would be a smart move. Remember, Bourne originally joined the 49ers as an undrafted rookie out of Eastern Washington back in 2017. He's gone through his ups and downs in the league, but he's always been a reliable option, especially in critical moments. After a stint with the New England Patriots, Bourne requested his release a few weeks ago, aiming to reset and find a new opportunity. And that opportunity might just be with San Francisco once again. Now, it's worth mentioning that Bourne has garnered interest from other teams, like Washington, but he chose to wait until Week 1 was over to see where he might fit best. A smart move considering how he could fit into a team that's already familiar with his skill set. And at nearly 30 years old, Bourne isn't the same explosive receiver he once was, but he's still got a few years of high-level production left in him. Teams like the 49ers, along with others, might be willing to offer him a solid contract to bring him back into the fold. Remember, in the NFL, age isn't always a barrier. It's about how effectively a player can contribute, and Bourne can still bring that to the table. And let's not forget, the league is a constantly shifting landscape, especially with the trade deadline approaching. Other teams like the Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Chargers, and even division rivals such as the Kansas City Chiefs could be lurking in the background, eyeing Bourne as a potential upgrade or a key piece to their passing game. For the Cowboys, for example, despite their recent trade of Micah Parsons, they're still looking to bolster their wide receiver core. With Jalen Tolbert in his final year and the team needing more consistency at the position, bringing in a veteran like Bourne could help Dak Prescott stabilize his targets, especially if they want to make a real push this season. The Cowboys need a reliable third or fourth receiver, someone who can step up in clutch situations, and Bourne's experience and versatility make him an attractive option. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the Chargers saw some signs of life from Quentin Johnston in their latest game against the Chiefs, but there's still a lot of inconsistency. Keenan Allen remains one of the league's top pass catchers, But with the injury concerns around Xavier Worthy, who's expected to miss some time with a dislocated shoulder, the Chargers might also be interested in adding someone like Bourne to fill that void. He could serve as an efficient upgrade over Jalen Reagor and even mentor younger players like Andre Lambert-Smith and Tree Harris. The Chargers are in the middle of trying to make a playoff push, and adding depth at receiver is a smart move if they want to compete at the highest level. And then there are the Kansas City Chiefs, who are in a tricky spot at wide receiver. Xavier Worthy's injury creates a gap in their aerial attack, and with Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquise Brown already providing some stability, the team might look to bolster that group by acquiring a player like Bourne. The Chiefs have a history of making bold moves mid-season, and with Bourne's familiarity with the West Coast offense, he could be a quick fit. Plus, with Tyquan Thornton and Nico Remigio still developing, adding a veteran like Bourne would give Patrick Mahomes another reliable target and help them maintain their offensive explosiveness. Now, circling back specifically to the 49ers, this situation is really emblematic of how well-coached teams like San Francisco operate. They're always looking to maximize their roster, especially in the passing game, which is key to their offensive identity. Brock Purdy has been impressive so far, showing that he can lead this team deep into the playoffs if given the right support. And having a reliable, experienced receiver like Kendrick Bourne could really make a difference, especially in tight games or when injuries crop up. The chemistry Bourne had with the 49ers during his first stint is well documented, and his familiarity with Kyle Shanahan's offensive system would allow him to integrate quickly. That's a huge advantage in the NFL, where timing and understanding the playbook can be the difference between winning and losing. But beyond just immediate help, bringing Bourne back also signals the organization's strategic mindset. They're not just thinking about this season, they're planning for the long haul. The NFC West remains one of the most competitive divisions in the league, with teams like the Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals all vying for supremacy. The 49ers have built a solid foundation with their defense and running game, but their passing attack needs to be versatile and unpredictable. If Bourne joins, he can help stretch the field, create mismatches, and give Brock Purdy a dependable target when it counts. Furthermore, it's worth noting that the 49ers' wide receiver group has been somewhat banged up early in the season. Joan Jennings, who's been a key contributor in the past, is also heading into an MRI, and his potential absence could leave a gap in their depth chart. Bringing back Bourne would help fill that gap without forcing young players into roles they might not be ready for yet. It's a smart move by the front office, relying on a familiar face who already understands the team's culture and expectations. This kind of roster maneuvering is what has kept the 49ers consistently competitive over the years. They know how to identify talent, whether it's through developing rookies, signing free agents, or reuniting with familiar faces like Bourne. It's all about creating that seamless synergy on the field, and Bourne's return could be just what they need to keep their momentum going. As the season unfolds, every game becomes more critical, and having a veteran wide receiver who can step in and contribute immediately is invaluable. Now, looking ahead, the next few weeks are going to be fascinating. The 49ers are already showing that they're serious about contending again, but they also know that injuries can happen at any moment. The NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint, and the teams that adapt fastest often come out on top. If Bourne signs, he'll bring not just his route running and catching ability, but also that veteran leadership that can help stabilize the locker room during tough stretches. Plus, his familiarity with Shanahan's system means he could be on the field and making an impact very quickly. This move, if it happens, would be a smart reinforcement for the 49ers' revamped offense. It's about adding depth, experience, and a little bit of that familiar spark that helped them reach the NFC Championship last year. And honestly, fans should be excited, because when your team is making smart moves like this, it's a sign that they're serious about going all the way again. The NFC West is tough, no doubt, but the 49ers are always a step ahead when it comes to strategic roster management, and bringing Bourne back could be a game changer. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential signing? Do you think Kendrick Bourne can make a difference this season? Would you like to see him back in the red and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us, and it helps keep this community lively and engaged. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. We'll keep you informed about all the roster moves, game previews, injury updates, and everything else that impacts your favorite team. Thanks for tuning in, and let's keep the passion for the 49ers alive.